Hi, I'm Jeff, and welcome to another video in my series where I take a look at all the new comic books coming out on either October 13th or 14th, 2020, and I ask myself the question, what one new comic book would I buy if I could buy just one book? Now, I'm going to tell you right out the gate here, this video is going to be different than the other videos that I've put out, and that's because in past weeks, there's always been one, sometimes two videos that jump out at me as like, oh yeah, no, this is my pick. This is the hot book this week. This is the one that would be my just one book pick. But this week, there's not really anything that's jumping out at me. There are books that I'm interested in, but nothing that I'm like wanting to spend a lot of time talking about or featuring this week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus this video on things that were interesting to me about this week in new comic books. And that is that there's a lot of number ones coming out this week. First issues of new series coming out. So I'm going to try to go over those, read the descriptions for you, and give you the opportunity to maybe consider buying them if you're interested. But none of them are my pick because frankly, I am not so interested in picking up a new series right now. I want to downsize my new book buying, not increase it, and unless I'm like strongly compelled to pick up a new book, you know, which happens way too often anyways, these were ones I was able to say no to. So that's why they're not my pick, but I wanted to feature them because there's a lot of number ones this week. There's also a lot of great cover picks this week. So I wanted to feature a lot of these cover picks this week as well. But first, let's get my just one book pick out of the week. I do have a pick. We're going to get it out of the way because it's kind of inconsequential to what most of the content of this video is going to be. So there are three books that I'm interested in this week. The first one is Seven Secrets number 3. Now, so far I've been really interested in number 1 and number 2. I like the world that they've created. I think that the best is even yet to come in this series. I think that they're establishing the world right now, and once we get into it, it's going to be really great. So I'm with this series for the time being. I'm absolutely on board with it, but it's not my pick for this week. Another one in a similar fashion that I'm into is Strange Adventures number 6. Now, this has been a good series for me as well. It's kind of a creeper storyline. It's not like super action-based and stuff. It's kind of a mystery. They're trying to figure out what is the true history of Adam Strange when it came to like fighting this war on another planet. One of the main things that's most interesting to me about this series is Mr. Terrific. He's a character that I didn't really know much about before reading this, but reading this I'm like, give me more Mr. Terrific. What is up with this guy? He's so awesome. But then also the story that they're developing about Adam Strange and like what is even the mystery is interesting to me, and I'm enjoying the read. But it is not my pick for my just one book. What is my pick for my book, if I could buy just one new comic book this week, is Dark Knight's Death Metal number 4. Why? Well, the reasons are actually a bit arbitrary. I like the series, as you know, I mentioned that before. I'm enjoying the series a lot. It's a fun read, it's an interesting read, it's an exciting read. There's a lot of great things about this series. But it's been 2 months since Dark Knight Death Metal number 3 came out. And in the meantime, there's been all those one-shot stories. So I'm kind of sort of hoping that in a way that going back to the numbered main series, that this is going to be kicking into a new, like, exciting part of the story. The one-shots, they're kind of like standalones, but they also seem like essential reading to the storyline. So it seems like they could have just numbered them all the way through and just kind of had stories taking place at different places at different times. But anyways, that aside, the fact that it's been 2 months and the fact that I'm enjoying this series makes me curious to know, like, hey, what's coming next out of Dark Knight's Death Metal in general. Also, full disclosure, as you know from watching these videos, I'm all in on the Robin King spec, so I'm also kind of hungry for more Robin King stuff, and it hasn't been in these one-shots, so I'm like hoping that it'll be back into the main title, because I need me more Robin King. I need to know, like, did I spec appropriately or inappropriately? I know the one-shot is coming, and maybe we won't get much Robin King until that time. But yeah, I'm hungry for more of that as well. So because it's been 2 months since the last one came out, because I'm enjoying the series, and because of my personal interest in the Robin King as a spec, that is why I have chosen Dark Knight's Death Metal #4 as my just one book for this week. Okay, so that's aside. If that's all you care about, you can probably quit this video right now, and with my blessing. Thank you so much for coming and checking it out. However, if you're interested in hearing me talking about all these #1s that are coming out this week, and there's a lot of them, some of them are great and some of them maybe not so great, stick around. I'm going to try to get through them as quickly as possible, but if you're interested in them, stick around. Also, if you're interested in just seeing some awesome covers that I pulled out from this week, and there's a good amount of them, stick around for that as well. So let's jump into it right now. The first book I want to point out is Commanders in Crisis. There's a lot of really great covers for this one, including this Peach Momoko cover. You'll see that we're going to be talking about Peach Momoko a few times today, several times today, I should say. That as well as another comic book artist who we will get to soon enough. But let me go ahead and read the description of Commanders in Crisis from Image Comics. The last survivors of the multiverse live among us under new superheroic identities. 5 survivors of doomed worlds, taking a second chance to ensure our world lives on. A new twist on strange superhero comics with a bleeding edge eye on the modern moment. Commanders in Crisis follows in the footsteps of Doom Patrol and Thunderbolts as 5 unexpected heroes come together to solve a murder unlike any other. The victim? Compassion itself. This is Ideacide. You know, I was pretty interested in this one in general until I got to the victim, compassion itself. This is Ideacide. All of a sudden it seems like some kind of like social political agenda to it, which is like, I mean, there's a place for it, obviously, in storytelling. There's definitely a place for it in the world right now. I just don't know if I'm particularly interested in it. But these covers are really great, and it sounds interesting. So if you read this, if you pick this up, I'm going to say this a few times today, let me know what you thought. Let me know, oh my gosh, Jeff, I read Commanders in Crisis. It was hot garbage. Or wow, Jeff, no, it was way better than that description made it seem. Let me know. You guys let me know if there's something that I missed out on this week in #1. Let me know, and I will go back and I'll check it out based on your recommendation, if you recommend it. The next one I want to point out for cover buys is Amazing Spider-Man #50. Now, I had to go and double check this. Amazing Spider-Man #49 came out last week. I had to double check it. I was like, wait, did it just come out? Yeah, it just came out. That Legacy 850 issue came out last week. And now again this week, it's Spider-Man #50. It's a lot of Spider-Man back-to-back weeks. That's cool, though. There's some cool covers, including this Spider-Man with swords killing vampires, and he's in a black suit with like the red insignia on it. That's really cool. But I want to talk about another artist that I just kind of alluded to in the last book that we're going to be talking about a decent amount today is Alex Ross, and this Spider-Man Timeless variant. Now, these Timeless variants have been in kind of, each one has been in a kind of very similar pose. Very stoic kind of, you know, pose. What is up with the position of Spider-Man? I mean, people are making comments, justifiably so, about like, what is going on at the bottom of the frame there, Spider-Man? Where are your hands and what are they up to? Alex Ross is so good, and the art in this is so good, but the pose is just like, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. I'm going to give you a pass on this one, Alex Ross, because you are so talented, but dude, how did you not see what everybody else seems to be seeing now? But anyways, he redeems himself immediately for me with this next one, which is a cover pick. It's Avengers #37. It's this Black Panther one, which is great. It is amazing. I like it a lot. And especially with all the Black Panther heat that's out there right now with the unfortunate passing of Chadwick Boseman, I have a feeling that this one is going to be very popular, and justifiably so, because it's really great. It's really great. It's very black, but it's like it shows his ability, his artistic ability, how he can take something that's basically just like a matte black, that's so black, and still make it so cool and so interesting. So kudos to Alex Ross. You've already redeemed yourself for that Spider-Man. The healing has begun. Thank you so much. Continuing with Alex Ross goodness, we have this Captain America number 24. This one I really like. I really like this cover. Yeah, there's a lot to check out in this one. Kudos, Alex Ross. This is top-notch stuff as far as I'm concerned. Definitely worth checking out if you're interested in it just for the cover. I have this other one as well. I gotta be quite honest. I guess it's Falcon. I don't know what book this is. I'll put it in a thing. I have it here. I just randomly, I didn't reference what book it's from, but I'll put it in right here. Once again, Alex Ross doing good work. Really appreciate it. As well as he's doing In Hellions number 5 right here with this Phoenix. I like it. It's Alex Ross. It might not be my favorite Alex Ross of the day because it looks a little, the brush strokes are a little bit more apparent. It looks a little bit more painted than the other ones, even though I don't mind that in his art and in art in general. This one might have gone, maybe I would have scaled it back just a little bit with the brush strokes. But you're a genius, Alex Ross. You do you, brother. You do you. Next I want to point out is the Immortal Hulk, number 38. This is a Superman Unchained homage. That's pretty cool. You know, I like that it's a Marvel book homaging a DC book. That Superman Unchained image is so iconic. And this Hulk one would be an excellent companion piece to it. I like it. I also just think it's done really, really well. And once again, Alex Ross. Well done, sir. Kudos to you. Next, we are going to be talking about Marvel Zombies. Resurrection, number 3. Now, I'm a big fan of Inhyuk Lee, and we're going to be talking about him also again on this list today. I kind of wish I had been reading Marvel Zombies Resurrection. It seems like there's a lot of fun and a lot of cool in there, but once again, I was hesitant to pick up a new title. If I could say no to it, I did say no to it, and this is one I said no to. But these covers are really great. They're really great. The Wolverine one, that's really cool. I like it a lot. And then there's this like Namor one, also just like crazy, but really great. So kudos to those. Those are excellent cover picks right there. And then what I believe is going to be the last Alex Ross we will talk about today. It's this book right here. It is New Mutants number 13. This Colossus Timeless variant is really good. Once again, it speaks to Alex Ross's abilities, that he can do the Black Panther, which is mostly black, but still like give you all this great art, essentially. I also really liked his Iceman that he did. He really kind of like evoked an ice cube for Iceman, and I kudos to him for doing that with paint. Similarly, this Colossus with his metal reflective skin is really great. It's super. Kudos to you, Alex Ross. This might be my favorite of the Alex Ross covers that we took. No, I don't know. That Captain America one is really good too. But as far as the timeless variants are concerned, this is my favorite one that we've looked at today. It's just really good. And yes, Alex Ross, you're officially forgiven for the Spider-Man pose. Not forgotten, but forgiven. Next, for the same book, we are going to look at Peach Momoko. Now, Peach Momoko, once again, is somebody, we saw one book of hers from Commander in Crisis. We're going to see a few more from her this week. Love her or hate her, she is the hottest thing out there right now. And she just signed an exclusive deal with Marvel, which is interesting. Hopefully Marvel actually didn't jump on the Momoko bandwagon too late. It seems like maybe people's interest in Peach Momoko is waning, so it's possible Marvel kind of got on the Peach train maybe a bit too late, but she's still super hot, so you can't blame them for going after her. But Marvel's hopeful gain, as far as Marvel's concerned, is all these independent comics lost that were like getting a lot of extra boost to their comic books because of Peach Momoko's art. But, you know, they had their time with her. Now Marvel gets to own her for a while. And this New Mutants cover is good. I like this one. This falls into the Peach Momoko thumbs up category for me. I like it. I can dig it. The next book that we're going to look at is Dynamite number 1. Now, it has 2 Peach Momoko covers that I'm going to show to you first before I read the description of it. These are Peach Momoko ones that I can really get behind here. There's this Vampirella that is just like, this is the style that I think Peach Momoko is really best at. I like this. I wish that she did everything in this style, basically. And then there's also this Red Sonja right here, which I'll show along as the A cover as well while I read this description for you. Vampirella hurtles through space on a Draculon ship, desperate to uncover a dark mystery. 100-year-old John Carpenter of Mars grasps for an awful memory just out of reach. Peter Cannon, Thunderbolt, battles waves of evil he does not understand. Red Sonja is faced with an impossible choice. Dynamite is an event series that unites all of the hit Dynamite characters as you've never seen them before. They will come together to battle the biggest threat they have ever faced. Many are even missing faces. So this is like Deceased. This is like Marvel Zombies. This is Dynamite's, cross-title zombie fighting effort. Hey man, it works for the other guys. Might as well let Dynamite give it a shot as well. That's new out this week. Something else from Dynamite, I had mentioned Inyuk Lee. I'm a fan of Inyuk Lee in general, and I really like this Vampirella 14 cover. Now, this isn't like, there's nothing really super special about this cover, but it speaks to me for some reason. Yeah, she's kind of an anime-looking version of Vampirella, which is fine. That's cool. It's part of his art style, often. But there's something about Vampirella lounging in a suit that I'm just like, it's just a new take on her for me that appeals to me in a weird way. And also his art is fantastic. So those are the things about this cover. This is why I flagged it. I like Inyuk Lee. I like this kind of Vampirella lounging in a suit pose, and it's really good. So anyways, that's why I flag it as a cover pick for myself for this week. Okay, so now we have a bunch of number 1s that I'm going to go to here for a while. The first one is Carmine number 1 from Action Lab. Here's the description. Carmine is the new seal bearer for the house of Cochineal, something like that. Destined to become the future queen of the house, ruling the Guardian organization, which on the face of it is a charity for talented orphans, but is charged with keeping humanity safe. Carmine's race, Antediluvians bonded to their seals, are given long lives as well as powers. Carmine's seal, the lightning beast, is deemed both a declaration and warning when it awakes. The competition wants her dead before that happens. This one actually sounds pretty interesting to me. The description of it, I'm like, okay, that sounds interesting. It's got maybe a little bit of an X-Men vibe to it. But it sounds like an interesting story to me. If it sounds interesting to you, check it out, read it. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. The next one I'm going to point out is really interesting. It has really great covers. But let me read the description. It's called Conspiracy Planet X. It's a one-shot. Planet X. What truly lies in the depths of space? Is there more life than we know? So far, we are the only known intelligence in our galaxy. But what if there was another planet inhabited by other life forms hiding deep within our own solar system? What if it knows about us? Don't miss this shocking truth here. Now, this reads a lot like a legit conspiracy theory, like, agenda piece. I don't know if this is somebody's, like, legit conspiracy theory beliefs and they're trying to use this comic book as a medium to share their thoughts and ideas, or if it's just a completely, like, fictitious what-if situation. I'm not quite sure. But it sounds like it could go either way. But the art is great. So if you're interested in checking it out, pick it up, read it, and let me know. Was it some kind of conspiracy, like, propaganda? Or was it just a fictitious what-if story that actually was pretty good? I'd be interested in knowing more about this book. The next one is interesting to me as well. It's Devil's Bride number 1. This is from Vault Comics. 16th century Japan. The fates of warlords ebb and flow like tides of blood. None more than the Origami clan, who follow their lord clad in the red devil mask into every battle. But when Lord Origami succumbs to illness, his daughter, the fierce Ketsuko, hatches a plot to save her people no matter the cost. Years later, as Kutsuko wanders the heaving battlefields of her ruined homeland, she discovers a chance to avenge the terrible wrong done to her clan, even if it means stepping back onto a road steeped in slaughter. A little bit of a personal thing about me. I'm a big fan of Japanese people and Japanese culture and Japanese history. Not exactly sure why, it just kind of speaks to me. For that reason, I'm interested in this story. It also just kind of sounds pretty cool and interesting. These covers are great. So to me, this is one, once again, that I would consider picking up if I was picking up new books, but I'm able to say no to it, and I am saying no to it. Please, if you pick this up and read it and you think it's great, let me know immediately so that I can make sure to jump on it before it's too late. The next one is also another interesting one. It's called Miranda in the Maelstrom. The Multiverse Maelstrom, a supernatural storm that crosses over between dimensions, displacing beings and objects from alternate realities. Most fear the Maelstrom, but interdimensional explorers Miranda Sherbert and her shark dog Noodles use the storm as a means of travel and adventure. But when Miranda finds herself disoriented and separated from Noodles, she runs into the storm, fighting off violent aliens, harsh weather conditions, and the traumatic memories that set her down this path. Will Miranda find Noodles and continue their adventures, or will they be alone in infinity? This sounds fun, exciting, interesting. I am curious about this. This is from Action Lab Entertainment. Once again, if I had unlimited funds and unlimited time to read comics, I would pick this up in a heartbeat because I'm curious. If you do so, let me know what you thought. But it does sound interesting to me. So does this next one. There are a lot that almost got me this week. There are so many that almost got me. This is Necromorphous from Behemoth Comics. It says, introducing Douglas, a teenager who gains the form and memories of any deceased person by touching any of their mortal remains. But everything has its price. After gaining this gift, he can only feel pleasure or emotion by being someone else. Not to mention, he's forever stuck in his 16-year-old body, unable to grow old. That's interesting. That's a concept that I'm not familiar with. He touches the mortal remains, and then he can kind of like turn into the form and get the memories of that person, but that's the only way that he can have feelings of his own. That's interesting. I'm interested in that as a concept, and I'd be interested to see how that plays out in the narrative. So check it out if you're interested. I know I am, but I'm not checking it out. The next one is Vane from Oni Press. This one is Chicago, 1941. A blood bank is held up in a robbery, but no cash is taken, only blood. It's the latest in a string of similar crimes, and FBI agent Felix Franklin is certain it's part of a wider plot. But the truth is much more sinister than he could imagine. The four robbers who call themselves the Vane are vampires, immortal, physically powerful, and after decades of honing their skills, practically untraceable. But in a world that is rapidly changing, stealing blood is harder every day. And with each decade that passes, Agent Franklin inches closer to the truth. I mentioned this one because it's a #1 and it's out this week. I am not interested in this one at all. It sounds like 5,000 other vampire stories that I've already heard and seen already. But maybe you love vampire stories. Then this is for you. Check it out. Vein #1 from Oni Press. The next one is Villainous from Mad Cave Studio. I believe this is a limited series. It says Tilly, one of the newest superpowered people to join the coalition of heroes, is doing her best to navigate the dizzying world of superheroes. Working with her idols should be a dream come true, but when she learns the truth, Tilly's dream quickly becomes a nightmare. Now Tilly has to make a choice. Get in line and stand with her heroes, or take a stand and risk becoming something more. Villainous. Now I've been watching a lot of The Boys on Amazon Prime recently, and maybe it's just because I've been doing that, but I read this and I'm like, yeah, it sounds like The Boys. Maybe it'll be better than The Boys, maybe it'll be worse, who knows, but I'm not as interested in this because it sounds like something that I'm already currently actively engaging in, but maybe you would like to check that out exactly for that reason. The next one is one that actually, another one that does sound interesting to me. It is called We Live, from Aftershock Comics. It says the year is 2084 and the world has changed. Racked by calamities and crawling with monsters, the last remaining humans face a dangerous existence. And now, the Earth has been sent a message from the deepest reaches of space, a dark countdown to the extinction of all humanity. But there is hope. 5,000 children will be rescued by these mysterious message senders. This is the journey of Hototo, one of the lucky 5,000, but only if his teenage sister Tala can safely deliver him to the nearest beacon before time runs out. Sounds fun, sounds exciting. I like the art on the cover here. This would be one I would check out. Like, I mean, I guess I kind of had to be like, listen, if I'm going to check out this one, I got to check out, you know, all these other ones as well. And I would end up picking up 5 different number 1s this week. So maybe that helped me in a way to say no to some of these. But this is one that I'm legit interested in. If you're interested in too, please pick it up. Let me know what you thought of it. The last number 1 that we are going to talk about today is Rorschach number 1 from DC. It says, it's been 35 years since Ozymandias dropped a giant interdimensional squid on New York City, killing thousands and destroying the public's trust in heroes once and for all. Since that time, one figure in a fedora, mask, and trench coat has become a divisive culture icon. So what does it mean when Rorschach appears as an assassin trying to kill a candidate running against President Robert Redford? Who is the man behind the mask and why is he acting this way? It's up to one detective to uncover the true identity of this would-be killer, and it will take him into a web of conspiracies involving alien invasions, disgraced do-gooders, mystic visions, and yes, comic books. Now, if you're a comic book fan and you haven't read the original Watchmen series, what are you doing? Stop this video right now. Go to Amazon or wherever and order the trade paperback for Watchmen. It is so good. It's essential reading for any comic book fan. But because of that reason, it makes a lot of these stories that I think have taken place after the original series feel like a little bit of a cash grab from DC. I can't blame them. DC's in the business of making money, and The Watchmen is hugely popular. So they want to give you more stories with these characters, but a lot of them are just kind of not great. And I just don't know that this one is going to break that mold and be like, you know, worth picking up. They almost had me. They almost had me because I am such a big fan of the original Watchmen series. But I'm not personally interested in picking this one up. But once again, if you are, because you just love the Watchmen, and as well you should, and you read it and you think it's really good, let me know in the comments. Please say, Jeff, you know, don't have a bias against DC and how they've been handling the Watchmen characters since the original series. Check it out. It's good in and of itself. I would love to hear that that's the case. The last thing I want to talk about today is my favorite cover of the week. And it comes from Wonder Woman 764. And no, it's not this cover. Although I have a quick story about this cover. Apparently the thing that guy is holding there on the right was a gun. Originally, looks like a gun. But somebody decided that no, he can't hold a gun. I guess it's too violent or whatever. So they changed it into a gun flashlight. Flashlight gun? Something like that. Anyways, good save, DC. But regardless of that little side story, no, the cover that I am talking about is this one from Joshua Middleton. This is really good. I really like this a lot. And if you have not been checking out Joshua Middleton's covers for Wonder Woman as of late, he's been doing a bunch of them, go check out all of them. They are all really, really good. Kudos to you, Joshua Middleton. You are doing great work. This cover in particular, I love. Now, art is completely subjective, and you might be looking at it and being like, oh, Jeff, there's so many I like better this week. That's fine. I just really like this one. If I was in an art museum looking around, I'd be like, that's cool, what is that? This is the kind of thing that would draw me in. Now, I don't know exactly what it is. I don't know if it's the composition. I don't know if it's the pose. I don't know if it's the color palette. I don't know if it's the fine details. I love the little ding it looks like there in the shield. But I have taken a lot of time looking at this picture in preparation for this video, and every time I look at it, it's hard for me to look away. It's really, really good, and I really, really like it a lot. But I'm not a guy that picks up books just because of their covers. But if I did, man, I would pick up a bunch of these Joshua Middleton Wonder Woman covers because they are awesome. awesome, awesome. But that's it for today. That's it. And wow, I think this video is way too long. So if you've been here this whole time watching all of this video, thank you so much for sticking around. I really hope that there's been some great information, some valuable information in there for you. And I really hope that maybe there's been some entertainment as well. If there was a cover that you like a lot this week, please put it in the comments. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments. If there's a number one that you're really interested in, I'd love to hear what that is. If you read one of the number ones and you think it's great and you think that I and everybody else should check it out, put that in the comments as well. I appreciate all of that. And if you've stuck around this long, man, hit the like button, because apparently there's something about me you like, and I really appreciate it. There's been a lot of growth to my videos over the past few weeks, and for all of you that are new, thank you so much for coming in, checking me out, and checking me out regularly and sticking around in a long video like this. If this is the first one of my videos that you're seeing and you haven't subscribed yet, if you stuck around this long on this video, boy, you should check out my other videos. So I would recommend doing that by subscribing right here. Hit the subscribe guy and hit the notification bell. I have some other videos that are going to be coming out in addition to my Just One Book picks in the next few weeks that I definitely think you're going to want to be notified about when they come out. As always, thank you so much for watching my videos. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.